Welcome to the Knovada Payroll Management System. With the Knovada Payroll System, the organization can automate their entire payroll processing. Accessing the payroll information of each employee, the payroll system calculates gross pay for each employee, which includes salary or hourly wage information together with specific benefits such as mobile phone allowance, automobile allowance, and others you require. The deductions are calculated based upon the tax regulations of the specific country, with the final calculation being the net pay for the employee. Once the payroll processing is completed, the payroll information for each employee can be exported into an Excel spreadsheet, Word document or PDF, print individual time slips, or transfer funds via direct deposit. In this presentation, we will discuss the following: payroll processing, generating time slips, banking transfer for payroll funds. The only tab used to process payroll is the Payroll tab on the HRMS administration site. We will now discuss the Update Payroll Sub Tab. When an employee/casual worker is hired by the organization, their payroll information is entered into the HRMS database. When an employee or casual worker has a change to their payroll information, such as increase in the monthly salary, an increase to their hourly wage, or a bonus is awarded, the Update Payroll Sub-tab would be used to enter this information. The payroll administrator has the ability to update payroll for a specific employee or can update all employees/casual workers in a department. Should a bonus for an employee be awarded, the payroll administrator would use the Update Payroll Sub-tab to remove this bonus figure after the final payroll run has been processed. Should a bonus be awarded for a department, both employees and casual workers in that department would receive the bonus, and the administrator would use the Update Payroll Sub-tab remove this bonus figure after the final payroll run has been processed. We will now discuss payroll dates. The organization selects the end date for each pay period for the year through the Payroll Dates sub-tab. In our example, the payroll period end date for October-December 2017 is the last working day of the month as indicated by the white check mark on the date. For example, the pay period end date for October is October 31st. The pay period end date for November is November 30th. When processing payroll for the pay period of November 30th, the timesheets for November 1st, November 30th would be processed, with the assumption that the above payroll run is correct for the payroll date of July 31st, 2017. The administrator would select the export type to use Excel, HTML, Word, PDF, or send to printer and select export data. Since the payroll dates for this demonstration were previously entered, we will select Submit Payroll Dates information to demonstrate when timesheets must be submitted for payroll processing. After the payroll dates have been updated, we would select the Update Timesheet Submit Dates. For purposes of this demonstration, we have previously entered the specific dates when the timesheets should be submitted for payroll processing. This date will determine when the employee payroll will be processed and pay slips being submitted for payment based upon the procedures established by the organization, such as paper checks being printed, funds transferred to a centralized banking facility for distribution to the designated bank of each employee, etc. In our example, we have chosen one day after the payroll period end date to submit the timesheets for payroll processing. Selecting the Payroll Display Info sub-tab provides two views for displaying payroll information. Selecting Main Payroll View will list those fields which contain basic payroll information such as annual salary or hourly wage, overtime differentials, and employee identification information. Selecting Payroll Processing View provides options for displaying additional payroll information required for processing payroll with the payroll module, such as allowances, country tax tables, and for entering instructions to the centralized bank. Selecting the Payroll Tax Tables sub-tab will display the tax tables associated with the country where the organization is located. In our example, we are displaying one of the two tax tables for Kenya, which is the standard percentage-based tax table. The other tax table being the NHIF tax table. Should any of the variables change in these tax tables, the administrator has the ability to update the entries. The Employee Banking sub-tab contains the banking information for each employee. There are options for the method of payment to the employee and the option to have 3 bank accounts with the ability to have deposits made to each of the 3 accounts. We will now discuss how to process payroll. To start the payroll processing, we will select Process Payroll Sub Tab. Due to the display size of the screen above, only the months of July, August and September are displayed. In the full display, however, all payroll dates for the year up to and including the current month in which the process payroll is run will be displayed. For example, if the pay period for August was selected to process payroll and the date the process payroll for August was actually in September, the September payroll date would appear as shown in the display. The organization has the option to process payroll for individual employees by using the drop-down box in the box entitled Select the Employee to Process. Can select by employee type, all employees, casual only or standard only. Special processing dates can likewise be entered should an organization choose to run a special payroll run for a date span within a payroll period. For example, July 1st, July 15th rather than using the payroll period July 1st, July 31st. Note that if this special processing run is actually used for processing payroll and transmitting this payroll information to the centralized bank and creating pay slips, another special processing run must be processed for the remaining days of the payroll period. In our example, the special processing run would be for July 16th, July 31st. The organization can likewise change the banking instructions for this special processing run. Subsequent payroll processing runs will revert back to the default script created in the payroll display payroll processing view we discussed earlier. For this demonstration, have selected the payroll date of July 31st, 2017. Due to the length of the process payroll screen, the tab Process Payroll. Click on the Process Payroll button at the bottom of the display is not shown. Selecting Process Payroll will create the payroll report. Due to the width of this report, only the first 7 columns of the report are displayed. As we discussed earlier, it is recommended that the payroll process be run on a periodic basis throughout the payroll period, which will provide the opportunity to review the timesheet data being processed for the payroll with sufficient time to correct any discrepancies such as a time-in stamp but no timeout stamp. We will discuss how to identify and resolve such discrepancies later in this demonstration. We strongly recommend that the organization inform those employees/casual workers who are paid on an hourly basis that it's very important to record their work time on a daily basis. Failure to do so may result in either not being paid for this work time or being paid an incorrect amount. With the assumption that the above payroll run is correct for the payroll date of July 31st, 2017, the administrator would select the export type to use Excel, HTML, Word, PDF or send to printer and select Export Data. In our example, we will select Excel, which will provide the instructions to download and save the file on the organization local computer. The file created by the export data for this final payroll processed run is the document which is transmitted to the central bank, which includes the instructions on how to process the enclosed payroll information. There are a number of payroll reports available in the payroll module. Selecting the Payroll Reports sub-tab will display the reports available in the payroll module. The payroll report has itemized details which comprise the calculation of net pay. The payroll report contains the summary of basic salary, gross pay, total deductions, tax relief and net pay. The payroll report detail will provide the same detailed information as displayed in the listing created when process payroll is selected as discussed above. Selecting Bank Payroll Report will provide a listing of employees with either their national ID or passport ID, banking information and net pay. For these 3 reports, the administrator can process the report for specific employees, all employees or employee types salaried, hourly or subcontractor. Selecting Employee Payroll Change History Report will provide a history of all payroll changes for a specific employee or all employees for the requested time frame. Selecting Email Employee Time Slips information will display the following. Select the pay period of December 31st and the following screen is displayed. Select Email Employee Time Slips Information and the following screen is displayed, which confirms the time slips information is being emailed to each of the employees. Note that these time slips can be exported into specific formats for archival purposes. In addition to employees receiving their time slips through email, the employee can likewise access the employee website and view their time slips. There are also additional employee and payroll reports. Selecting Employee and Payroll Reports will display a listing of CAN reports that are packaged in the HRMS. The HRMS also provides an ad hoc reporting capability by which the organization can create internally. For illustration purposes, we have listed 4 ad hoc reports that were created using the option Create a Report. This concludes the presentation of the payroll module within the Human Resources Management Administration System. Should you have any questions about this presentation, please contact your local account representative. Thank you for your interest in our payroll module.